Hello everyone and welcome to Shell Point Today for Monday, January 11th. I'm Dan Philgreen. On today's show, we will celebrate the accomplishments of the Stamp Ministry in the Creativity Tunnel, and we'll discover how those with hearing loss can use the telephone. But first, don't forget about tomorrow's LifeQuest Expo at the Village Church Auditorium. The annual expo features more than 50 booths of Shell Point Health Services and programs, as well as local businesses that support the 6 dimensions of wellness. The goal of this event is to educate residents in all of the amenities and services offered that promote a culture of wellness and support personal growth, healthy living, and a positive life experience. Staff will be on hand at the expo to share new classes, programs, and events, as well as details about personal training, travel, and education, monthly activities, and volunteering. The expo will be a great opportunity to gather information and enhance your own quest. Doors open at 10 a.m. tomorrow in the Village Church, and the expo lasts until 2 p.m., so make your plans to attend. Now, these are such wonderful little inventions. At first glance, you might see this as a cell phone, but it is so much more. A smartphone such as this is capable of storing information, surfing the web, taking pictures, and even shooting video. If you own one of these, have you shot much video with it? Now maybe you would shoot even more if you learned some basic methods to improve the look and quality of your videos, as well as the audio that's recorded along with it. You can join Herb Sklar and George Waters in a 4-part class beginning this Wednesday to learn all about smartphone videography. The class runs from 9 to 10:30 a.m. in the Sable Room of the Woodlands, and you'll need to sign up at either service desk to attend. The Legacy Foundation, in conjunction with Shell Point Health Connections, presents a series of presentations entitled Medical Breakthroughs and Discoveries. Wednesday's event will be on the topic of the state of healthcare in Southwest Florida, with guest speaker Jim Nathan, who is the president and CEO of Lee Memorial Health System. He will discuss the new $140 million medical campus in South Lee County and the Shipley Cardiothoracic Center. This event will be held in the Village Church Auditorium at 10:15 on Wednesday. While last month looked a lot like Christmas, this month looks a lot like concerts. The 13th annual Shell Point Concert Series is in full swing. This Thursday, the Southwest Florida Symphony presents a discovery concert entitled Beethoven's Eroica. This multimedia presentation will be conducted by Maestro Leif Bjalland as he chronicles Ludwig van Beethoven's creative journey of composing his first great symphonic masterpiece, Symphony No. 3, Eroica. The concert begins at 7:30 p.m. in the Village Church. This weekend, the concert series continues with a concert and conversations event in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands at 7 p.m. Saxophonist Ashu will delight the audience with his engaging stage presence and beautiful music. Ashu has developed a pioneering career as the first and only full-time concert saxophone soloist. After enjoying the concert, you'll also enjoy a beverage and dessert while conversing with Ashu. It's a fantastic evening to cap off your week. The Stamp Ministry at the Creativity Tunnel has grown to be a very large number of volunteers who give so much love and devotion to this worthy cause. Since beginning in 1972, the money raised through their efforts has gone to missions work for the production of Sunday school materials in South America and other Spanish-speaking countries around the world. Last week was a time of celebration as many of the volunteers gathered in the stamp room where the fundraising totals were announced. And also, there was cake.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody here to this celebration that we're having. First, I'd like to recognize the volunteers that are here working, and we have about 50 in homes and other ones that come in on other days. And I'd like to recognize all the work that they've done. And in the past year, we put in 15,285 hours in here that has been logged in. We're a function of the church, and we appreciate them being here. I want to recognize Jim Horton, who with his wife Marcia were leaders in here for over a decade, and they've turned over a thriving thing here to Treva and I. Thank you, Jim. There's also people here to represent Shell Point, and we want to appreciate those for being here. Thank you very much.
I have seen you all prosper and grow to an immense amount of volunteers who just give so much love and devotion to this worthy cause. Treva and Ben Crump have been so instrumental in this wonderful program.
In the month of December, we were able to send $4,639. Then our overall total for 2015, $45,639. That now gives us a grand total of $900,000 that has gone to missions since the stamp ministry started back in 1972. And for that, we're most grateful. God has been most gracious. We're going to have a display in the window once it's framed and up. This will be posted, framed and posted, so that'll happen later in the month. Now, some of you have come in and have said to me, I don't do very much. You know, I just trim stamps. Well, the story about the talents in the Bible, the one guy, you know, had 10 and got 10 more, and 5 and got 5 more, and the one buried his. Well, you people didn't bury your talent, you just brought it into the tunnel. And if you go into those boxes in the center of the table, underneath the stamps, you should find a thank you. So you can dig in and any of them, find what it is that's in there. Those of you who are in the chairs, and if you volunteered and trimmed stamps, please find them in the boxes. We've got them all over the place. Thank you.
Your faithful volunteering has made this milestone possible. $900,000.
All right. To God be the glory. So let them eat cake.
I am joined now by Ruth Davis. She lives in Royal Bonnet, and she is the keeper of the volunteer hours, which amounted to this past calendar year of over 15,000 hours, which is just amazing. And I'm here to ask you, why do you choose to volunteer in the stamp ministry, Ruth?
Well, I started out about 12 years ago because I was new and I didn't know anyone. And I saw these people sitting in here, enjoying talking to each other. I had my little stamp collection when I was a kid and growing up, and had gotten away from it. So I came in and started, and realized that it was a very worthy cause of what the money went for, and I got hooked.
So Ruth, thank you for those 12 years that you have devoted to the stamp ministry, and thank you for being a shining light in this ministry. We appreciate you. So as you can see, both men and women are invited to partake of this fun time. Bob, why did you join up the stamp ministry?
Well, I felt the men were inadequately represented here, so I stepped up to the bar. And we've been doing a great job, as Treva and Ben told us, with the wonderful contributions that we're making to charity throughout this year. It's a record-breaking year, and we're so happy to be here.
Coined Treva's phrase of saying, she'll say, now you know you're not supposed to be sitting too long, so get up, walk around, have a treat, and then you could sit back down. But that's what she does every single time. You know you're not supposed to be sitting too long. So we get a charge out of that.
Well, when we first came to Shell Point, I looked around and I thought, there are so many things to do here. How am I going to know what I want to do? And I got exposed to the stamp room. No matter how old we get, no matter how feeble we are, there still are ways that we can contribute to the ministry of God. That's what my story is.
Beautiful. It's a wonderful story. And like she said, all these volunteers are invited to come join in a fun atmosphere where you share stories, you share love and fellowship on Tuesdays and Fridays. So if you'd like to be a part of the stamp ministry, contact the volunteer coordinator at 454-2290.
In order to use a telephone, it's pretty much essential that the persons on each end of the line be able to hear the conversation. For those who have hearing loss, this is especially difficult, if not impossible. Heather Battey of Resort Services wants to let you know of a special phone that's available that enables a regular phone conversation by those with hearing loss. She is standing by with Heather Golden to explain the benefits of the Cap-Tel phone, which will be demonstrated on Thursday and at the LifeQuest Expo tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Heather Battey with Resort Services, and today I'm here with Heather Golden, Outreach Representative for Cap-Tel Telephone Systems. Hi Heather, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for being here and talking to us about this telephone here.
Thank you for having me.
What is Cap-Tel?
Cap-Tel stands for Caption telephones. So it is basically the same principle as a caption television where you're able to read what is being said. So in this case, for people that have hearing loss, they would not only be able to have a regular phone conversation, but they would also be able to read the words that their caller's saying. And then this way they don't have to constantly say, can you repeat that? Or even act like they understood what was being said.
Interesting. So the words will come up right here on the screen.
That's correct.
And how does it work? Is there actually someone in between?
There is someone in between, and basically that is so that we can guarantee that what is being printed up on the screen is accurate.
I see. Perfect. Well, for those that do have the hearing loss, it does sound like a viable answer instead of having to, especially now, talk into a cell phone.
That's absolutely correct, because even with all of the technology that's out there now, telephones are still very hard for people to understand, and that's really still a lot of people's link to the world, to family and to businesses and services. So it's still a very important piece of technology.
Yes, absolutely. Now, does this have, is this the only type of phone you can have, or are there different ones?
We actually carry 3 different phone models depending on where the user is. This particular one is a touchscreen, so users that have an iPad or a tablet and are used to the touchscreen technology enjoy that. The other 2 telephones are very similar. One has a larger screen, and they look a little more like a traditional style telephone. Right. But it's up to the user, whichever phone they prefer. They all do the same thing. They all have the same features with the built-in answering machine, which also captions any messages that are left.
Wow, okay, so this is something that you can get free, or is this phone that you purchase?
Either or. We actually do have certificates where you can get the phone for free as long as it's signed by a doctor or hearing-related professional.
Oh, wonderful.
And you can also purchase the phone. Either, whichever works best for the user is the way that we can do it. At the expo, the LifeQuest Expo on the 12th, I will be there displaying the Cap-Tel phones. I'll have all the information on how your residents can get the phones for free. I've actually already put in several phones in Shell Point, and I've had some of your residents already refer me to friends. So far it's been fantastic.
Oh, great. So you're going to also, on top of the expo, which is January 12th, you're going to be having a presentation.
Correct.
And that's Thursday, January 14th.
Correct.
Heather from Cap-Tel will be here to do a presentation for our Health Connection, January 14th at 2:15 at the Social Center. So you can come see these phones and talk to Heather at either LifeQuest Expo or at her presentation. So thank you, and stay happy and healthy.
And now it's time to take a look at today's happenings, Academy News, menus, and Village Church connections. Right after this, Listening to the Words preview from David Hallenstein.
Hi there. You're just in time for the lowdown on the latest edition of Listening to the Words. You'll hear one of the characters ask, "What exactly is it I would be afraid of?" And being answered, "Oh, you know that it's Elizabeth Taylor." The next story on this week's show is about Frank Sinatra and Joe E. Lewis caught kibitzing to the utter joy of 4,000 eavesdropping zealots. Then find out what happened after Patrick Stewart discovered he had an instinct for play acting. That was long before he played Captain Jean-Luc Picard on Star Trek: The Next Generation. And then Grammy Award-winning cellist Yo-Yo Ma says now he feels more mortal than when he was 20, but still asks, what does it all mean? Also, one-time Broadway dancer-actress Bebe Neuwirth offers some penetrating advice on facelifts and hip replacements. David Hauenstein offering you all that and more twice each hour, all 7 days this week on this 30-minute radio show on Shell Point Channel 12. As always, thank you for listening to the words.
Hello and welcome to the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley and this is Caitlin Van Scoy, and we're going to go over the activities offered for you here today at Shell Point. We're going to start at 8 o'clock today with the men's match play tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. Also at 8 o'clock we have the mobile mammography bus at the Village Church. Virtual bowling will be in the Resident Activity Center at 8:45. Billiards will be at the Resident Activity Center at 9:15. Also at 9:15, the Lollygaggers Paddlers will be heading out from the storage facility on the island. At 9:15, we also have pottery down in the pottery studio with instruction available. At 10 o'clock, it's time for the men's match play tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. And our Suzy Q also goes out at 10. They're going to Matanzas on the Bay for lunch today. You need to sign up at the Island Greeters desk for those trips. The Disciple Men's Bible Study Group will be in the game room of the Woodlands at 10:30. And at 10:45, we have table tennis with the playing clinic in the Tarpon Room on the island. We have a Health Connections class at 11:30, Bar Ball Edition in the Health Club. That's currently full. That concludes the morning activities. Here's Caitlin for your afternoon lineup.
Well, thank you, Bev. We start the afternoon off at 12 o'clock with Mahjong in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. At 1:15, Samba, the card game, is in the Resident Activity Center. From 1:30 to 3:30 today, the Model Train Room will be open for complimentary tours and viewing. That's down in the Island Tunnel. At 1:45, a Health Connections class will occur, Balance and Mobility for Beginners in the Health Club on the island, and that one is currently closed. The Beady-Eyed Bead Club will be meeting in the Oak Room of the Woodlands at 2 o'clock. And at 3 o'clock, another Health Connections class, Pilates Stretch, will be in the Health Club on the island. At 3:15, the Shell Point Singers Rehearsal will be held in the choir room of the Village Church. At 5 o'clock, the singles table will be available at the Crystal Dining Room. We move to 6:30 for beginners square dancing in the Health Club on the island. Also at 6:30, Duplicate Bridge will be held in the game room of the Woodlands. There's a Village Church sponsored movie that'll be War Room, a 2015 film that'll start at 7:15 in the Social Center. Our last Monday activity is square dancing in the Health Club on the island that occurs at 7:30, and that one is currently closed. Well, we're so happy you joined us here today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Monday, January 11th, the first day of the spring semester. At 7:30, we start with Exploring Florida's Real Snowbirds with Dr. Ivor Brooks, Academy on the Go #1. Court pickup begins at 7:30 on the island. At 10:15, we have iPad, Why Do I Need One? In the Manatee Room on the island for those who have signed up. And at 10:30, we begin this semester's Anatomy of Words group, meeting in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. At 1:15, we have a basic Mac laptop class in the Technology Teaching Center on the island. Sign up is required at either service desk. And at 2 o'clock, 3 Worlds, Coffee with a Neighbor, will take place in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Don't forget to bring your ticket that you picked up at either service desk. I'd like to tell you what's coming tomorrow. Writing your memoirs on the computer will be taught by 2 Lakewood ladies, Lucille Peterson and Marty Gibson. An iPhone class will be taught by Bruce Finley of Sundial, and the topic is iPhone Setup and Basics. And then Russ Cray of Oakmont will teach a computer course, Making Word Work for You. And the Village Church will begin presenting the Alpha course.
Menus for Monday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is braised pork shanks served with scalloped potatoes and asparagus. The dinner special is Old Home Cooking Night for $13.95. The soup of the day is beef noodle. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a grilled ham and turkey wrap with Swiss and chips for $7.75. The dinner special is meatloaf with mashed potatoes and mixed vegetables for $8.75. And the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Eleanor Perkins. And Eleanor, we're here to talk about the Village Church sponsors a movie night, which we've done a couple of times already. But this one that's taking place tonight at the Social Center is really a special movie that I think would be a great encouragement to believers in Jesus. And that's called The War Room, right? Which seems like a rather strange title for a movie about sort of religious kinds of activities. But at the same time, if you understand the nature of the Christian faith, we recognize that we're in a kind of a spiritual battle. But the greatest weapon that we have is, of course,
prayer.
Prayer, that's exactly right. So tell us about this movie. And you and I have both seen it.
Yes, we have.
And it's a movie that both of us would want to see again. And so so tell us about that. What do you how can you describe the nature of this movie?
It was about real people, a family, life situations that happen to so many. Everybody gets too busy. They start disconnecting. Everybody's out to make money, get things, and suddenly the important things start slipping. The commitment to the church and the family time and everything else. And how the wife met a woman that just shared with her about her life and the importance of prayer. And then you watch God change lives through the power of prayer in her war room.
That's right. She had a special place set aside. This one woman did, and she took those the things that were on her heart with regularity to the Lord. It's not the kind of thing, obviously, many of us pray on the spur of the moment, and we pray in church, and we pray at prayer meetings and things along those lines. But to have an actual location set aside just for prayer, and we saw how powerful that was in the life of a particular family as this one woman adopted these practices. And it was quite an extraordinary movie. Now, who's in the movie?
Priscilla Schauer is one of the lead roles, and I don't know the other people's names. I know Priscilla because she will be teaching the Bible study that the women's ministry is having this year. We did one of hers last year, and this year we're doing the Armor of God, and that focuses on Ephesians, the 6th chapter, the Armor of God, but then especially on prayer. So God has brought this back again, into the village church and Shell Point life through that. But it was an inspiring movie because to me it was real. I could see myself right there, and we've all probably been close to where this family was at times. And then for Priscilla in her role, it didn't just change her family, it changed her.
Right, that's right.
And it completely refocused and balanced her life. And she had a little closet. And a lot of us, me for one at Shell Point, I don't have a little closet, but we've all got a space. And you talked about that the other morning with our Encounter with God daily devotional thing. And so having a space where you go to meet with God.
That's right.
And it was an exciting movie.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was really an exciting movie. It was what I said to you. At the end, I wanted to stand up and shout, hallelujah. I mean, this is wonderful,
Now, the interesting thing is, as you mentioned, there really aren't a lot of actors in here.
No.
And maybe there are some people that have done acting before, but most of these people are real because they have experienced the power of prayer in the context of their own lives. They're not necessarily pastoral people or people engaged in professional ministry, although a few of them are, but most of them are just simply real people who have an experience with the Lord, and as a result they are able to bring a reality to the issue of prayer and what prayer is designed to accomplish and how it accomplishes it. I think it's one of those movies that really all genuine believers in Jesus would profit by seeing.
Oh, yes.
And I'm certainly will look forward to seeing it again. And it's going to take place tonight. Right? In the Social Center. It's certainly it's sponsored by the Village Church, but it's not at the Village Church. It's at the Social Center, and it's at 7:15.
That's right.
And we hope every seat will be filled. And I think
to overflowing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Eleanor, for sharing the time with us today. We're looking forward to The War Room, which is the movie sponsored by the Village Church at the Social Center tonight at 7:15, and we hope to see you there.
Don't miss it.
Thanks for joining us for today's program. Tomorrow, we will hear about an Academy class on Shakespeare, as well as one about poetry that's off the shelf with the Academy on the go. Until then, this has been Shell Point Today for Monday, January 11th. I'm Dan Philgreen, thanking you for spending time with us today, and we hope to see you again for tomorrow's show.